Welcome back.
We're back in the pod.
Just like that.
Another Sunday.
Another Sunday.
You always repeat
Beautiful day too outside.
You repeat everything I say.
It's a beautiful day outside too.
Yes, it is actually.
Sunshine.
But it's cold
Blue
though.
skies, yeah. It is. I woke up, I saw the cars. I'm like, man, it's all frozen.
Yeah, like
ice.
I could see on the neighbor's roof outside, I could see the roof was frozen. When I was little, I used to think that was snow.
Oh, the ice on the roof?
Yeah, because I'm from California. That's the closest you can get to snow. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't snow here.
The first time I saw snow, I was in 6th grade.
Really?
What about you?
I don't remember.
Was it the first time when we went to Tahoe with Mo and Monica?
Yeah, I think so. That might have been it.
That was like 11 years ago.
Because I never got to the snow.
Yeah, because Monica woke you up and said, Mike, look, there's snow. Because when we got to the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
So I was with you for the milestone.
Yes.
And it wasn't that spectacular.
It's all right.
I'm not into the snow. I really am not. I rather be in like a cute ski outfit in the lodge with a spiked hot chocolate.
There you go. I'd rather be with my coffee in the lodge.
Yeah.
Nice and warm. I'm just not a big snow guy. I don't do snow sports. I don't snowboard.
No. In fact, I find that every winter I forget how much I don't like being cold. I don't like to like go anywhere because I just don't like being cold. Even for a little bit, I don't like being cold. Like getting out of the car and walking to a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah, we're spoiled here in Cali. We like the warmth.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh.
With very minimal rain as possible, but we always need water, unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually like the rain, but I only like to be home in cozy clothes with a log on the fire. That's how I like to enjoy the rain.
True, yeah.
I don't like to have to be out and about and running
errands and here and there.
Yeah. So I'm glad it's nice today because we do have to run some errands.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be crazy out there.
I'm sure it is.
We're going to be battling it. Cheers.
Cheers.
I got my ho-ho-ho mug for another week.
We had to spill the coffee today.
Hot coffee is in a minute. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to let you know, thank you so much for the overwhelming response we received from the last episode. It was
Thank you, guys.
Crazy. Like crazy. It was our most downloaded episode ever. Mm-hmm. From the amount of DMs, YouTube comments I got, plus your DMs, your text messages, so many people in your life that didn't know. Yeah. And that was like shocking. Yes.
It's important to talk about it though.
It is. And that's what a lot of people said, like, thank you for talking about it. You know, like, this is helpful. This really helps. And I read every comment, every Instagram comment, everything. And it was just so supportive. And so I was just so grateful for that, because for as much as I like to come on here sometimes and complain about social media, there's some good sides to it.
Yes, of course.
You know?
Yeah, it's not all bad.
It's not all bad. It's just that the one bad kind of outshines a lot of good. But there was no bad. Like, it was all very uplifting, positive support. And I just thought it was really cool. Yeah. Also, if I can ask you guys just a reminder, please leave a review, especially if you enjoyed this last episode. If it was helpful in any way, please go over to Apple Podcasts, pull up Candidly with Coffee, and leave us a 5-star review there. I would really appreciate it. We are going to get into some Q&A stuff that I opened it up for questions now for a couple of days. So we have different questions, lots of follow-up questions on the situation. So this will kind of be a part 2 to the episode 366, which was It's Okay to Cry. That was that one. So we'll get into that. But first, for our hot coffee segment, I finished the Meghan and Harry documentary. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it is good. I didn't get to finish it yet, but it's definitely
so it's the documentary, Meghan Markle and Harry. And I don't know why, I think we talked about it last time, but I couldn't think of Harry's brother's name, which is how terrible. But his name is William. Anyways, so I finished watching that documentary, and I would say reviews on it are mixed. There's still people that are fully on the other side, and then there's people that are on Meghan's side. I think it's like a mixed bag. But my opinion remains consistent. I believe them. I empathize with her. I think they could have said a lot more.
Yeah.
I think they just said enough to convey what they went through, but they were still classy about it. That's my opinion. Yeah. Did you know, this was news to me, Tyler Perry's the one that helped them.
No.
So when,
I didn't know
right when the pandemic hit in 2020, they were in Canada and the royals had let them know they were pulling their security from them.
Really?
And everybody knew where they were in Canada, and the paparazzi was out of control, and they had like a few more days and the royal security was being pulled. They were going to have zero security with a crazy amount of media paparazzis, just craziness. And they didn't even know Tyler Perry personally. But I guess he had reached out to Meghan during some of the drama on like social media and stuff. And even though he doesn't know her, and he just kind of sent her an encouraging social media message.
Yeah.
And, you know, saying, hang in there, you know, you're representing, you know, you're bringing awareness to, you know, the first Black woman in the royals and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And she was so appreciative of that he like took notice. And so they kept in touch on social media. And she reached out to him and out of desperation, like when they were going to lose security. And he said, hey, let me help you guys out.
Wow.
I have a house. I'll put you up. Nobody will know. He snuck them to the States into his compound. And they stayed there without anybody knowing for 6 weeks. They flew under the radar. And they said they had like the most amazing 6 weeks of their life there. But he's even like the godfather to one of their kids. Like, he really helped them and didn't even know them.
Incredible.
Because he believed it. And he says he remembers Princess Diana going through the same thing. And he felt like if he didn't step in, like something, that their worries were valid.
Yes, of course.
That people were, you know, they were in danger.
Dude, it's almost like what I got from that. It's kind of sad because what's his name? Harry H, as they call him. It's like he's born into this, but now he's like, he knows all the inner workings and all the fake media stories that they create and just all the dirtiness that goes on. So that being said, it's like he's like he got out of his own prison. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
because
like
he was in a prison.
He finally took his blinders off. Is what happened, because he saw, holy shoot, they literally would bury a story that was about William or Kate, but they wouldn't protect Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there's nothing we can do. He's all, that's bullshit. I know there's something you can do. You guys trade stories all the time so that the media has a good perception.
Yes.
Ultimately, what I got from the documentary was I feel like they thought they had another Princess Diana on their hands. She got a lot of attention.
Yep.
And they didn't like it.
No.
They didn't like it because they were getting more attention than the Queen.
You can't do that.
And definitely more attention than Kate and William.
Yep.
They were like the it couple. And the public loved them. The perception was that the public didn't because of the media, but the media was controlled. You know, it's very interesting.
Even here. It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Think about it. We're no different.
No, we're not.
I don't get too crazy, but celebrities, we know this. They're what do you call them when they have like their personal assistant? They plant some stories or they'll be...
Well, PR. They know how to spin things. They know how to... They blame the Kardashians for doing this all the time. They say that whenever something bad is happening with one, they will throw another like curveball with another one of the kids to take attention off of it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So like when, you know, Pete Davidson and Kim broke up, it's like, okay, then now they're going to announce the Tristan saga. They're strategic. They're strategic in the way they release information. They're strategic in their product releases to control the media somewhat. But
you know what's weird about the royal family? It's like kings and queens, but they also have another part of the government. Like they're part of the government, but not really. Does that make sense?
I learned a lot.
Weird.
Like they call it the institution.
The institution. That sounds like a prison.
I
What does an
know.
institution mean in the United States of America? I'm institutionalized. That means I've been in a prison.
I mean, that's kind of what she felt like, Meghan.
Being in a prison?
And
yeah.
she was having like suicidal thoughts. I mean, right on our topic.
Legit.
She literally was asking for help. Like, I need help. I'm having
She talked to her mom,
deep
which was
depressive
good. Yes.
thoughts, and I need help. And they
Yes.
didn't like the way that would look, the optics of that.
Yeah.
So they told her, can't you just deal with it? And and luckily, Harry took it serious. You know, he's
Yeah.
like, I'm really worried about my wife. And
Well, you could tell he felt guilty at the look on his face, like I caused all this because
Yeah.
she's going through this because of me, because who she married into, this family. It's not because of her.
Man, he didn't have, I have to say, he didn't have a lot of bad things to say about his grandmother, though. He didn't say, he said, like,
he loved his grandmother.
even in the meetings and stuff like that, he said she stayed quiet. He almost felt like she was, and maybe she was a lot of times just the face because she was so old at that point. She might not have been, you know, super involved. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, because he talked about how he got into shouting matches with his dad and William.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like they were like dirty and called a meeting, but they waited until they knew Meghan had flown back to the States. And then they called the meeting so she wouldn't be there. It was just shady. Anyways, I highly recommend the documentary. Even if you're not interested at all in the royals, because to be honest, I was not. I was not super vested interest in Meghan Markle or any of that stuff.
I know. You got me into watching it with you.
But the documentary is very well done.
It is done. That was good.
I love the Netflix style of documentaries. It's very well done.
Yeah.
And they got paid a pretty penny for it.
I'm sure
Good
they
for
did.
them.
Good for them. They're winning.
Good for them. But
They
people are
went.
talking
Look, they hit
about
rock
that.
bottom and they turned it around.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They're like, oh, they're capitalizing off being a royal, but not being in the royal family anymore. I'm like, of course they have to. They're gonna, they gotta make their money.
Exactly. They gotta live. They gotta, survive. Crazy, because he's what? He lives here now, full time.
They live in
H is like
Santa Barbara.
H is like a Brit / American now.
They literally live not far from here, like 4 hours from here.
Now, their kids were born over there in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, well, one of them was. I don't think the second one was.
I think they could have dual citizenship because the mother's American. I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know. That is a good question. But they did hide out in Canada for a while.
Yes, they did. I saw that.
Very interesting. So I would recommend it.
They got out of their prison, the institution as they call it.
Yep. All right. So moving on to some Q&A. And I'll start with the topics that are related to last week, just because we'll kind of like tie that up and recap it. Some people wanted to know without, they didn't want to feel like they were prying, but just because we glazed over like that you attempted, but you survived. And like, how did that happen? How were you found? Did I find you? How were you found? So...
How was I found?
Yeah.
Hotel staff.
Yeah. So it was actually the same exact scenario as with Twitch where you didn't check out.
Yeah.
You didn't check out. And so they went into your room and I had already placed a police report. So they were able to identify you like almost immediately. Knowing that you had been reported.
How fast did they contact you after they found me? How did they know?
The officer was still on scene, and he says you had just left in an ambulance. So the officer called me, and let me tell you, my whole body froze because I saw that it was a number coming through on my cell phone. There was a 408 number. I remember I was on the phone with your sister. She was just about to create a flyer. We were going to put it on Facebook that you were missing to help everyone help search.
Yeah.
And then I got the call. And he said you were located and you were being transported to the hospital. And I remember I just said, is he alive? I freaked out and I just said, is he alive? And it felt like a million minutes before he answered, but he said yes. But he wasn't like, oh, he's okay, he's fine. He was just like, he is alive. I don't have any further details. He's being transported to, and he told me the hospital.
That was smart on his part not to tell you because he can't diagnose me. He's not a doctor.
So he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know, but you were being tended to by the paramedics. So I never got
I don't
a
remember any of
clear story as to what happened when the paramedics arrived. You were definitely, but I can tell you that on your Fitbit, remember we talked about last week how there was, it stopped registering at 26 beats a minute. Well, the battery didn't die or anything. You still had it on. And then it was like 1:32 p.m. or something like that. You see it shoot up. From nothing, you see it shoot all the way up.
A spike?
Yeah, so to me, that means they gave you Narcan.
Yeah. If it shot from...
It just shot from, it wasn't registering, and then there's this huge spike.
Wow.
And then it kind of regulated after that.
I don't remember none of that.
So that was, they must have gave you Narcan.
Yeah.
It has to be. And so that was crazy, because it just shows you were literally hanging on by a thread. And they didn't tell me anything else. I mean, they didn't tell me anything. I found that out later. They took you to the hospital, but they called me. And so when they called, I got to the hospital at the same time that you had just arrived, because the paramedics were outside. They were just coming out, and they were the paramedics that were there. Because I think we asked them, or it's kind of a little bit of a blur. But then we went inside, and they were just so rude and not helpful at all. They said they couldn't give me any information. They still had you they had you down as a John Doe.
Yeah.
They asked me to describe you, and
Heavily tattooed.
Yeah. And
I
didn't know. To be honest, I thought there was a really good chance that you were like either a vegetable, like brain dead, or like I had no idea. Probably for about 45 minutes to an hour, I had no idea before they finally called me up and let me go back. And I said, he's coherent. And, they were like, well, we'll let you see for yourself. And that was shocking to see you, because you did not look like the person that left the house the day before.
Man.
You looked, it was, I can't even put it into words, because you did not look like the same person. And I did not take a photo or a video or anything. I just wasn't in that mind space. I wish I had something, because I wish I could show you what you look like.
I probably look crazy.
Because you looked crazy.
I mean, to do what I did, you kind of are crazy.
But you're like, because I don't know if the pills and everything you did, you looked 80. Your face, you must have been so dehydrated. Your face was just wrinkled.
Really?
Like all shrunken in and wrinkled.
Wow.
And
it's crazy.
And you were not there. You weren't there. You were
that
still,
yeah.
You were kind of trying to take all the wires off.
I kind of remember that a little bit.
And the nurse was like trying to get you to take you were naked, just hanging out with wires everywhere. And the nurse was trying to like get you to stop. And then they asked you if you knew who I was. And you looked at me for like a long time. Mm-hmm. And then you said, wife.
Damn.
But you didn't say it like that. You said it like you were...
I couldn't get the words out of my mouth.
It's not funny, you guys, but it's all we could do is laugh if we're not going to cry, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I was like, what is wrong? I thought because, like Lamar Odom and everything, like I thought you had a stroke and you lost your speech.
And you know what's crazy is I had vision that doing that I was going to die from a stroke. Because it runs in my family history. My cousin died at 40. I tried to self-induce it. It didn't even work.
Well, I thought you had a stroke. I'm not trying to lie.
I'm just saying it's crazy. Like I didn't give myself... How did I not get a stroke?
I don't know. And do they know for sure you didn't have a stroke?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. You didn't have...
My face never felt weird. I never went south. Like my father had strokes. So my heart didn't go like this or nothing.
No, but it did though. Those days, like it was like your lips were like... And you couldn't formulate words. I could hardly understand you.
My neuromuscular wasn't working upstairs.
Yeah. Well, because it depresses the central nervous system. Yes. And you couldn't really walk. But anyway, so this was in the hospital.
I couldn't walk for a
few
days.
I
woke up in a wheelchair in a loony bin.
Yeah. So they called me in the middle of the night and said he had been transported by ambulance to an institution.
An institution, you guys.
And that they had told me originally that you would be there for 30 days. And they were going to evaluate you and make sure you were not a harm to yourself or others before they would release you. but that I could come and see you. And that's when I arrived the next day, they came and they brought you out in a wheelchair. You couldn't walk.
No.
And you were just very childlike. Like there was a vending machine behind me, and they only gave us 15 minutes. And there was Diet Coke in it, and you wanted a Diet Coke, and so you asked for it. But if you've ever seen Charlie Brown,
like a little kid,
if you've ever seen Charlie Brown, the teacher, the way the teacher sounds, wah, 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 that's how you sounded. I couldn't understand you. It was, and then like they actually ended up letting you go home after a couple of days.
Yeah.
So you're there for a couple of days. Each day you got a little better, but when I picked you up, you still couldn't really walk. Tyler and I had to help you get into the car.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't really have a conversation with you yet. You were really quiet. And the rest is like the withdrawal process was really rough because you were withdrawing off having all those pills in your system. You had, you sweat profusely. Like
yes.
The bedclothes was just wet.
I was having tremors.
Tremors.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then it kind of just went from there. But they ended up letting you out after a couple days, and we kind of just went with the rest was healing your mind and stuff.
It's insane. And looking back, it's like it took me to like I was a scared little kid. You know that? I felt like a little boy. Didn't feel like a man. Even though I'm an adult, in my mind,
you sounded like a. You called me from the institution. And I was like, hello? I could tell it was like a number from, the county or something. And you're like, hi. I was like, are you okay? And you're like, I called you. Like you were just like a child. I
didn't even know. I didn't even know how I even got I didn't even know how I even got that phone to her. It was like a phone on the side wall, and I didn't know we could call out. And they were like,
and
yeah,
how did you even remember my number?
I don't know. Isn't that crazy that somewhere deep down I memorized...
You knew to call me. It was just crazy.
I remember
because they weren't giving me a whole lot of information. They didn't let me know when you were going to be released. It was very difficult situation.
Talk about being with some interesting people. Because I've been, like I said, I've been incarcerated. I've been in jail, prison. But the loony bin is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
I feel bad because there's a lot of people. What I did gather. So this is what I gathered when I was there. A lot of people have pill problems. Bad. They would pretend. One dude pretend like he was going to commit suicide or something. It was just a joke. He just wanted to get medication. A lot of people are checking themselves into this place so they can get medication. They're not really crazy, some of them. They just want drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. And I was talking to one kid, and he was in there, and I was like, man, I would give him advice. A guy who just tried to offer himself.
How did you
I was telling this kid, like, hey, man, I'm an old dude. You're a young guy. Don't fuck your life up. Don't get addicted to pills. These things are dangerous. Don't mess around. He was angry because he couldn't get a Xanax or something. Like somebody stopped him and he ended up there. Mm-hmm. He was telling me the whole story. Like his dad called the cops on him. I don't know. It was crazy. And I was like, bro, fix the relationship with your family and get the fuck off.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, because his family was there the first day I was there. That's when he got checked in.
Yeah.
And his family was there. There was all this drama, a lot of drama in the lobby. And I was like scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy could pull a gun and go crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, places are dangerous.
I remember after I left the first day, because I thought, okay, he's going to sleep. It's been 24 hours now since he was found. The pills will be out of his system. He'll be back to normal. And then when you weren't, I remember I got in the car and I called my sister and I was crying. And I said, I think he's gone. Like, I think, like, Mike is gone. I don't know who this is. And she said, well, did they tell you it's going to get better? And I said, no. They said they don't know. They said some people, like, never snap out of it. And I thought about, like, remember that show Taxi?
Taxi?
Yeah. Remember the one guy that was, like, Christopher Lloyd, the Christopher Lloyd character.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, used to be normal, but then he had like a drug problem and he wasn't normal anymore. I thought you were going to be like that character from the show Taxi.
I mean, some people don't bounce back.
No, they said they just don't know because they don't know if there's brain damage from lack of oxygen. Wow. There's a lot of unknowns. And the reason why they even kept you in the hospital for almost 24 hours, the first 24 hours, was because they wanted to make sure your kidneys didn't fail from the you still had to digest and detox all that medication out. And it wasn't until the institution that I found out that it wasn't just pills. That's when you told me. Because I was like, what's wrong with your arm? And it was like taped up because, and you told me, and you showed me, and you said, oh, Drano.
Yeah. Yeah. Drano.
That was another shocker. That's why I broke down in the car, because I was like shocked. To me, that's just much more like graphic.
Yeah. I was trying to get the job done. I wasn't messing around. I didn't talk about it. That's the problem. When we don't talk about it, that's the scary thing. Like, just like that dude Twitch, he didn't tell nobody. He just went and handled his business. Same thing with me. I didn't tell one living soul.
No, like nobody. Nobody's coming forward that's saying anything. And you didn't tell anybody. You didn't say it to anybody.
Nope.
Someone that you had met with, a really good friend, actually, that you met with right beforehand. He didn't even know. And you had literally, he was the last person you saw.
Yep.
But he said that you said, like, you seemed off a little bit. He's all, now that you say something, he's the one that helped me look for you when you were missing. He was, now that you say something, something wasn't right.
Yeah.
But only in hindsight did he think that.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Because you didn't even tell him.
Nope.
And you were, like, right about to do that.
Mm-hmm. Didn't tell him either.
That's just crazy that you would even still meet with him.
People who talk about it, they're seeking help. They're talking about it. They want help. Take them serious. Don't laugh at them. Don't judge them.
No.
If a man tells you, take it super serious. Because we don't talk about it. We go handle our business, you guys, if we don't talk about it. I promise you. The people who talk about it, because I had an ex of mine, her brother would always threaten suicide. He was always going through shit. He was always hooked on meth. He was always just going through crazy. He would try, but he really was doing it for attention. He'd cut himself.
But he still needed psychiatric help.
He did. Yeah. They put him they put him in one of those rehabilitation homes.
Because when you try, but
he tried.
It's like that's a cry for help.
It was a cry for help. He didn't want to go through with it. We knew, but it was a cry for help.
So here's my question that we can maybe help someone. Because I asked you last week if you would have seen a lot of commercials that said, 988. What if you had come across a podcast where someone was talking about it? What would have helped you is what I want to know. Because I want to know what might help somebody else that might be having those crazy thoughts. What would have helped you, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Talking about it.
Yeah,
maybe listening to someone's story. Maybe someone telling me, like, dude, it's not as bad as what you think it is. That's the problem, is when commit suicide. It's either demons are haunting you. You just can't get past them. It could be past trauma, whatever. I don't know. Everybody has different stories. We all have different things we've gone through, experiences. It's possible. If I would have listened to someone on a podcast, it's possible. I'm not going to say I guarantee it, though. I'm not going to tell you 100% guarantee I still wouldn't have went through it.
Because I don't think it would have helped if I would have confronted you. I don't know. Because I feel like you would have been even just more mortified. Because I felt like you almost felt like I was about to confront you about something. And that's what, like, you were like, uh-oh, she's on to me a little bit. Because I remember, you have
to remember, though, let me explain real quick, guys. When you're going days, and I don't want anyone to ever try this experiment. Try going days and weeks, 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Do that for several days and weeks. Without even pills. And see how crazy your mind will get. You get
that's what
it's
psychotic. You'll get it's a psychosis.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep.
Add Xanax to that mix.
Causes psychosis. Well, the Xanax was also causing you to not sleep.
Yes.
The Fitbit confirmed that you were not sleeping. You were sleeping an hour and a half to 2 hours tops for several days beforehand. You were not sleeping for like that week.
Yeah. And then, by doing that, you think you're finding peace. Like you're getting rid of your pain. You know what I mean? By going through it, like,
I just wish, I guess I would know, like, what could help people not do that then? Like, what could help people talk about it? What could help prevent people from getting to that place?
More men talking about it. Fathers talking to their sons. Parents talking to their kids. Just open dialogue, I guess.
Yeah.
There's I couldn't tell you a solid answer, to be honest, because I don't know. Maybe this could help. somebody. Maybe someone's going through and they listen to this.
I hope so.
You have to also think about this. A lot of thoughts we make up in our own head, they're not even real. It's all made up stuff in our head.
I know you said
we
that
tend to
helps
believe
you
it.
now. It helps you now when you have a thought.
Yeah.
You say this isn't real.
Yeah. You have to tell yourself this isn't real. What's going on right now? I have a thought. Okay.
It's just a thought. It's not tangible.
Look, it's not touching me. It's not moving me.
And then the other thing is for people, that's not thoughts, but just like a situation in their life that seems insurmountable.
Yes.
Just remember that everything is temporary.
Yes.
Everything is. Good times, bad times,
ups and downs,
problems, happy time. Everything is temporary. So it's just a matter of waiting until that particular thing subsides, but it will subside.
Yeah.
I think maybe that
some people too who are suicidal they can't, like, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, it's a beautiful day, it puts me in a great mood, but some people it's dark clouds 24/7. They can't seem to break out of that. That's clinical. They needed help for sure. 100%.
Yeah, they need help.
Don't try to do it on your own, guys. If you're deep like that, if it's always black and gray and it's raining,
you need help.
Get some help, because it could be a chemical imbalance. Like you said, something happens to men in their 40s. We don't like to talk about it because we don't want to feel less of a man, but something chemically or
like it's
midlife crisis, whatever, in our 40s.
I feel like it's a perfect storm of like low testosterone with life circumstances, with past trauma.
I know. I wonder what it is.
And the fact that men are conditioned not to talk about it. So all of those things create someone that has all those thoughts trapped inside and there's no way out.
Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen to guys, teenagers, 20s, 30s, of course. But something, I don't know what, in me, something changed. I don't know what it was, but hit 40s. And like I said, I never had these thoughts in my 30s ever. And I don't know when I started ever getting these thoughts. For sure, messing with the Xanax took me to a whole nother place that I've never been to in my life, mentally. Yeah. So, moral of the story is, I'll never touch that stuff.
And that was another question someone asked. So, do you drink alcohol? Because are you an addict, and do you still drink alcohol?
I do. I have a drink here and there.
Yeah, so you're not sober.
No.
That's not what... No. I feel like, and this is a tough situation, because there's a lot of people that once you become an addict, you give up everything.
I did for about a year or so.
Yeah. Because you weren't sure. And
yeah.
You've never had a problem with alcohol, though.
No. I enjoy one cocktail and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't, like, in my younger years.
That's, we're not, that's a tough one, you guys. We're not condoning someone who's had a pill addiction to then drink alcohol.
No,
it's really, really a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
But I gave up drinking with you for that year.
Yeah.
And then, I feel like, you drink in moderation.
Yeah. I work out a lot, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to run myself down. Listen, I'm real disciplined now.
I know, but if I felt like it was a problem,
Oh, if I thought it was a problem, like I like this too much, I want to drink more, I'd stop. I'm not going to mess around.
Yeah. So, don't take that as like, I know that like some people will call it California sober, where they'll still drink alcohol and smoke weed.
Yeah. Or they'll just smoke weed.
Yeah. Everyone's addictions are different. So
careful with that too, because weed alters your mentals.
It alters the brain chemistry also. So, that's a tough one, because I don't want to be dishonest and say that you are sober, because you are not. No, it's true. But I'm not necessarily sure that that's the right answer for everybody.
Yeah.
We have friends that...
But hold on. Let me just clarify. That was 3 years ago, over 3 years ago that I did that. It wasn't like recently.
No.
So I've over the years, my mind's gotten better and stronger. Do I still have my times where I have dark, fleeting thoughts? Of course. But I know I'm not going to act on them. I know they're just thoughts. I tell myself, this isn't real.
But we have friends that they've recovered from addiction, and they cannot have anything.
Oh, yeah. I got friends. One drink and it'll destroy them.
Yeah. They're completely sober. I feel like it's 100%. Just different for you. And it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Not at all.
They asked, so I wanted to answer.
Yes.
Okay, so I had another question. Tips for a parent entering hospice. Oof.
I don't know. You got to answer this one. Tips for a parent entering hospice. Yeah,
like just what can they do, like, to handle that? Well, I would say
The children.
The child.
The child. Okay.
Well, not the child, but the grown child.
The grown child.
I would say on TikTok, believe it or not, there is a lot of hospice nurses that have TikTok accounts. One in particular, hospice nurse Julie. I've been watching her ever since my mom was in hospice.
Yeah.
And information like helps with the fear of the unknown. And it just helps to normalize the process and what's going to happen and help you know what to expect. So I highly recommend educating yourself with and you know, follow some hospice nurses, because they will, especially if you're the caregiver, because it'll just teach you a lot about death and dying and what's normal and, you know, how to handle that process. So that's like that part of it. The other side to it, I would say, is you're a lot stronger than you think you are. You will just endure it. But what I have to say, a couple of tips that you might not think about in the moment. Record your parents talking.
Yes, that was smart. You recorded my mother in the hospital too when she was
record them. Ask them if they're still coherent and able to communicate. Ask them questions.
Stories too.
Like have them share stories. Ask them for recipes. I'm not saying like not in an insensitive way, but I cherish the recordings from my mom. And I have watched them and listened to them, and I cherish it to be able to still hear her voice.
Yes, that's good.
And like her cherished recipe and her last laugh I have on a recording. So record. That was actually advice given to me from someone who lost their mom.
Yeah.
And it was good advice, because I feel like I would be afraid like she would fade.
You have that.
If I don't
have
have it, so I have
you can
it.
Play it to remind yourself.
So record and especially if you know they might not want video at that point, but voice record. Yeah. Depending on you know what the scenario is, but I have both in the hospital. But then at home I have a lot of voice recording, and that was I'm glad that I did that. So yeah, I would say that is my biggest tip. Record. Spend as much time as you can, because even though it's really hard time, you will miss it the minute it's gone. Yes. Even if it's the worst nights of your life, which I had this time last year exactly. Yep. Today makes 1 year that she came home on hospice. She was on hospice for 8 days, but she was still here. You know what I mean? And it was very difficult time, 24/7. But I wish I could get it back. Yeah, it's true. So spend as much time with them. Clear out your calendar. A friend of mine's going through hospice with his sister right now. So sad. Super sad. All right. So on to more lighter topics. Some more Q&As. Okay. What was do you remember, or do you have a worst date you've ever been on? Man. I don't remember. You don't remember? No. A date that went south, or like you're like, you know, or maybe what about you, the dating apps? Did you ever like get to the coffee shop or something, go, oh shoot, no. You want me to be honest? Yes. I mean, yeah, so there was no apps back then. It was different. It was online. Websites. Yeah. Different websites back then. So how I ended up on those websites going, I was nursing an injury, real bad injury I had on my left leg. I had surgery. Came across this website. So I was like, let me try this. Because I'm traditional. I'm old school, meeting people in person. I tried it to see this. And yes, people do not post their current looks. And then when you get to I like doing coffee shop dates because real quick, real easy. If I'm not feeling that person, then we bounce. Dinner, you're committed. Turns into an hour or two. Okay, so you had a situation where you met a coffee shop? Girl was a lot bigger than, her pictures. As you were walking up, did you see her and go, oh, no? Yeah. I was nice about it. I wasn't no asshole. I was still respectful. You know what I mean? And so did you kind of cut it short? Just, not cut it short. Had coffee, and then eventually I made my way. And all right, I'll see you later. Talk to you later. But no follow-up. I'm trying to think of worse dates. I know. When I was in my, let me tell you, when I was freshly single, it was a very short period of time. very short period of time.
I'm sorry, I took you off the market
But
quick.
I was a dating machine. Okay, I went on a lot of dates.
Speed date.
I did not do apps or anything. Not to toot my own horn, but I did not need to. They were coming out of the woodworks.
Of course.
I don't know if it was the pheromones I was putting off, but I had a lot of dates. So my single period was brief, or my dating period, but it was eventful. But I do remember this one date where this guy was like a 0 to 100 on our first date. Like, he pulls out his phone. He's trying to book a trip. He was going to go run a marathon at like in some island. He was going to run a marathon. He wanted me to go to on a vacation. He was going to book the trip. Literally pulled out his phone to book the trip right then and there. First date.
Tripping.
And it, like, I literally, like fight or flight, like anxiety kicked in. I literally wanted to like run out of the restaurant. We were at Sino. I was dying.
I bet.
It was like, dude, no.
Or that's like if women, I've gone on dates too where they're jumping levels. Don't talk about do I ever plan on or want to get married? Do I plan on ever? Don't do that on the first.
Like
date.
in a first date.
Don't do that. Get to know the person first.
Yeah.
Say that for later. You're not even there yet. Not even close. You're not even in a relationship yet.
Yeah.
This is not even. We don't even know where we're gonna go from here. So you gotta slow your roll.
Yeah.
So ladies, don't do that. Don't spook guys on the first date. Start talking about, for you single women who go on dates, don't start talking about kids and possible marriage. Guys will run for the hills. They don't want to hear on the first date. Hold up, like what am I? What am I? Like a piece of meat? Like you have plans in your own head? You're making something up? Like, what's the plan? You see us having babies or getting married or something? Like, slow down.
Oh my God, yeah. It
was... Online was weird, to say the least. I don't know what this app stuff is like now.
I'm sure it's weird too.
Well, everything's, you don't even need to be on apps. You can go to Instagram and DM. You can go DM 100 girls and maybe you get lucky and one will DM you back. I don't know. It's so different now.
A lot of people meet on
DM.
I
didn't have that. We didn't have that back then.
No.
There's no DM. We had MySpace.
I don't even know how I went on the dates that I did go on. I literally met people the old-fashioned way.
Were you on Facebook?
I was, but I didn't meet anybody on Facebook. No, I didn't meet anybody that way. I went out on a date with someone I worked with, but he was in a totally different department.
Oh.
But we had seen each other out, like at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I met somebody else at a restaurant. I'm telling you, if you're single and you want to meet someone the old-fashioned way, go eat alone at a bar, like during dinner type hour.
Oh wow, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I would eat alone.
That's brave.
Like on the days that
you never see women eating alone.
Well, because I didn't have the kids, So like Robert and I, we split the kids 50-50, and so if I didn't have the kids, I remember I was sad to go home alone.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sad days too.
I know.
Because it was hard to be alone. I had never been alone.
I know.
And so I would, after work, I'd be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I didn't really have any single friends at the time. Not really.
And that's the worst when you don't. When you're single and you have no single friends, like who's going to be your road dog?
Yeah. So I went out to eat alone. And that's where I found dates, honestly, because the one coworker recognized me from work and we ended up talking and we went on a date, but it was not my cup of tea. He was kind of like an Elon Musk kind of guy.
Dude? Yeah.
And a lot of money. And you know what? I just had a hard time with the corporate guys with a lot of money. It wasn't my...
They don't interest you, huh?
No.
Boring, huh?
It just not... I thought that would be like something I would be into.
Yeah.
But I was not.
It's crazy.
It just came with a different like arrogance and that was from having the money.
A lot of those guys only land women because of the money. Women aren't really into them. I just be honest, they're not into them. Women like bad boys. They're like dudes who talk smack. I got a little bit of backbone. I don't like these. They're weenies. They just happen to be smart and do tech. And have money.
I don't know. Anyway, so so that one was a fail.
Yeah.
And the reason I knew, and listen, I was in accounting and payroll, so yes, I looked him up to see how much he made.
Oh.
He had a lot of money.
Mm.
A lot, but yeah, not enough. Not enough.
Not enough.
Mm-mm. So yeah, I said the worst horror story, I guess, was the guy who tried to book me on a trip. It's like, what do you
like you're a piece of meat, like he owns you.
It's like an awkward, like, exchange.
Like,
it's just like an awkward, like, oh yeah, like probably not a,
That's a bad idea,
slow
guys.
your roll, dude.
Yeah, even men who push too fast, too forward, like, yo, slow your roll.
I remember cutting it off short, like trying to cut the date short, and he like wanted to go to like the V bar for drinks or whatever, and like I lied. I lied.
So you got to get home to the kids?
I don't remember what I did, but I went back to Sino and just wanted to just hang out at the bar and have another drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go home early alone.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him like walk by, like he came back out to the row too, like he didn't leave. I was like, oh, shoot.
Damn.
It was so uncomfortable. Anyways, that was awkward, worst experience for me. All right, so the next one is share your icks with each other. I have to explain to you what that is. It's a TikTok trend right now.
Oh boy.
So your icks is just things that annoy you. Like share like 3 things about me that annoy you. And then I have to do the same.
Damn, I don't.
Come on, I know I annoy you sometimes.
No, the only thing is I try to shush you when you're talking loud in the morning because everybody's sleeping because your voice carries over.
I'm loud.
Yeah, you're loud.
So when I'm loud, you get
because the morning is quiet time and you got like, babe,
I'm loud,
tone it down.
guys. I don't have a volume.
No, even your son tells you shh.
Oh, because he's so quiet. I'm loud and louder. I do not have an inside voice.
You don't.
You can probably tell by this podcast.
Yeah.
I have to put my
That's a good thing though. Your voice sounds great on here. Like, when I listen to you, I'm like, man, so clear.
I have to put my mic lower and yours higher. Because you have like this deep, sexy radio voice.
You're dumb. Sexy radio voice. That's hilarious.
So what else?
I don't know.
Think about it.
If you notice, we don't fight or argue or bicker a lot. So there's not too many things you
No, let me think if I can
irritate
think of
me.
things
No,
that
it's the
irritate
truth
you
though. I'm
that
not
I
even
do.
lying. I'm not saying we have a perfect marriage.
No.
I mean, we have disagreements we've gotten into, but there's not too much things that really annoy me or bother me or tick or make me tick. I don't know.
Make you tick?
Like, or ick. What did you call that? Ick? I'm sorry.
Icks. Like
icks.
ick.
Sorry,
Ick.
I'm not up with the TikTok trends. Icks.
Make you tick.
Ticks, icks. It ticks like when people are flinching. They got that.
Yeah, no, I don't make you
Icks.
ick. I don't make you tick or ick. Okay, let me think.
I have to think about this. Caught me off guard. Like,
okay, well, you can think while I'm
know.
sharing one. That you, no matter when we have to leave the house, I'm always the one that has to end up waiting for you. Like, you wait until the last minute, and then I'm always waiting on you. And then you'll have to go, oh, I forgot my phone. Oh, I got to run and brush my teeth. Oh, I got to do this.
yeah.
Like, when you could do that while I'm getting ready so that we could both leave at the same time. But it's like you wait for me to actually be like ready to walk out the door. And then you have 3 things. Even though you'll say, I've been ready. I'm waiting. But you're never waiting because I'm always the one who
I know
waits
what
for
kind
you.
of bothers me because
Oh,
I'll
here he
leave the
goes.
house, then I'll come back like, back again. I'm like, I forgot something.
Oh, I hate when you do that. That's an ick for me. That's an ick for you too.
Yeah,
It's an ick that I bust your balls
Yeah.
about it. Let
Because
me
you
tell
do it
you
to your
why.
son too.
No, but let me tell you why. Okay, I work from home. I record a lot.
Yeah.
So when they finally walk out the doors and I have a little peace and quiet, and then I hit record, and they walk in. Oh, I forgot my headphones. Oh, I forgot my phone. And you come back in. Oh, I forgot that. Like 3 times on average.
I have another one that pisses you off.
Oh, it's my ick? What?
Come on, what's something you don't like that I do by accident? Starts with a B.
What?
You get pissed. If I walk by you, I burp in your face.
Oh,
Come on. How did you not know that?
my
I don't mean to do it
God.
on purpose, but I know that pisses you off.
Literally.
I don't mean to do it, but
And
if I drink Diet
worst.
Coke and you're near me and I have to burp, I'm sorry.
No, you know what you do is you burp inside your mouth like you think that's okay, but then you blow it out the side.
I wouldn't
You know what I'm
blame
talking about?
If I
You go
might
like
burped
this.
and blew it in my face, I'd probably be a little pissed off.
And then you blow it out the side. I don't know what it is, you guys. It makes my blood boil when you do that, but Tyler's worse because he like burps. And he'll burp like three times like loud in the kitchen.
Oh, I know a kind of, I have an ick. You're driving. I'll explain. You're not a bad driver, you're a good driver, but you'll get in like conversation with me and I just want to kind of smack you like, babe, watch the goddamn road. You're like 50 miles an hour on the freeway and you're deep in conversation like, yo, wake the fuck up. You're driving us. Watch the goddamn road. Stop conversing so
What
deeply.
do you mean?
Okay, you're driving, you're talking, and you're like so deep in the conversation, like, babe, watch. I know you're driving, but focus on that first before the conversation.
No, but you get
your
mad
head gets,
because when
your head gets more
when
into
I'm
the
talking,
conversation.
I drive slow.
And you drive like a granny. Like, it's okay not to be in a hurry, but come on, I'm 40 something.
No.
I'm gonna be going 60 miles in
Okay,
the right lane or so.
Fine, since we're talking about icks, then there's another ick. You drive sporadic, too crazy. He
I could go.
drives so like
Not always.
not relaxing. You can't relax, okay? You're having to hold the thing. It's very jerky. He drives so badly like that Phoebe throws
I'm in a
up
hurry.
every time you drive. When I drive, she doesn't throw up in the car. You drive and she throws up.
I got a little heavier foot.
But you're in a hurry for no reason. That's it's annoying.
I don't know. I don't like to drive hella slow like an old person. I'm not old. I'm only 48. I'm gonna be 48.
You know what the irony is? I know how he gets. I know he doesn't like the way I drive. But if I just automatically assume he's going to drive, he'll get mad at me like, oh, I'm going to drive? I've got to drive all the time?
It's your car. I got it for you.
But yet when I'm driving, you're annoyed. And usually we have to go to one place. And then when we walk out, you go, give me the keys. I'm going to drive.
Sometimes.
No, you do that every time. So much for not having icks. That's a lot of icks.
Yeah, think about it. That's really it, though. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just the going back and forth a million times.
You're not like majority of women I date where they freaking do their makeup and they leave it all out. That would piss me off. Everything.
No, we're equally anal.
Yes.
We are equally.
They're not forced each other.
No.
We didn't force each other. We're just OCD kind of.
We are just equally anal.
Lucky.
Like just before something is about to bother me, it's almost like you read my mind. And not that you've done, just like if I see the couch blankets look a little grungy or something like that, it's like you'll read my mind. I'll go out there and they're all gone. And you wash them. It's like you think the same thought I did at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, or like I'll go in to make the bed and it's already made. Or vice versa. You go in and I beat you to it or whatever, right?
Any coincidence has to do with our sign?
That we're both Aquarius?
Yeah. We're born 4 days apart. But there's no guarantee every Aquarius is like us.
No, but they're very similar. We're similar Aquariuses, though.
Yeah.
Very similar in a lot of ways. I
yes,
remember
we are.
when...
Without trying to force it or even say, oh, we're Aquarius, we're this actually the same. No, that's not. Again, we're not all Aquarius is not the same.
No.
This we say the same sign. We're all... Me and my brother totally different personalities. He's an Aquarius. You know that.
Yeah, but he's like on the cusp
He's on the
of
cusp.
Pisces.
He's on the way out, yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes a difference. I have to say, I remember when you first moved in with me, and I realized like how anal you were with your car. I would be in the kitchen, and every morning you'd be out there with and wiping down your truck. And I thought, this guy and his cars, you would always wipe down your truck.
Yeah, I always kept the car.
Yeah,
you know, it says a lot about you when you keep your car clean, keep yourself clean. I keep myself well groomed. You know, I step with everything. I don't let myself fall apart.
Yeah.
You're the same way.
Oh, I just thought of another ick. Sorry.
Good. Shoot it.
That you take forever to pee. So like you'll beat me to the bathroom. Oh, oops. So you'll beat me to the bathroom, and it'd be fine if you would like pee like a normal person.
I do pee.
But you'll take forever, like Austin Powers.
Okay, my bladder's emptying itself. What do you want me to do?
I don't know, but
I can't tell it to go faster or let it out quicker. Human nature's got to take its course.
Oh my god, it's so annoying.
But what my ick is, there's another bathroom that you can go use in the house.
No,
too.
but my ick is that I only like to go to the bathroom and.
Well, too bad. You better switch that up, or else you got to wait for my slow ass bladder to empty itself out. It's called getting old.
Oh my goodness.
It sucks for me too, because sometimes I'm standing there and I gotta go to the bathroom. I want to go. I don't want to stand there forever.
I know.
So.
All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up a little. Or actually, it's not early. It's been an hour.
Been an hour?
It's been an hour, yeah. It's already been an hour. We have to wrap it up because Mike actually had to disrupt the podcast to go to the bathroom. We know how long he takes to pee. And now Phoebe's awake. And on YouTube, you can see little Phoebe.
There she goes.
There she is.
Anything else?
We do have more questions, but you know what? We have plenty of time because we are Candidly with Coffee podcast, and we can do as many shows as we want. So we will definitely be back.
Yes, we will.
One more time before Christmas.
Yep.
So we will be back with an episode on Friday with some Christmas cheer. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support, the love,
you guys, thank you.
Comments, everything. And don't forget to leave us a review. And we'll see you guys on Friday. Merry Christmas.